Yeah, I was just wondering because it seems to me like, I mean, I don't have a very, good worldview, obviously living in my little hermit shelter here that I like, my bubble, whatever. But it seems to me like it's getting more acceptable socially, a little bit.
It's much more acceptable.
So I just was kind of wondering, it's like, it just seems like, well, maybe they already are for all I know, but it just seems like more people should be a little bit more awake when they even come in here.
They are, and what's happening, which is pretty cool now, is we have medical mediums, and they're respected.
Yeah, that is
medical
really
mediums,
good.
And the government taught also. Okay, for years they taught a technique. Russia works on psychic phenomena all the time, and there was something that was taught by the government, and I know people that take classes in it. It's called remote viewing. And remote viewing is the ability to send yourself to any place on the planet and pick up what you see and feel and know in that place. Oh. And we were eavesdropping with remote viewing on Russia and China and other countries by remote viewing. And it gave lots of information to the CIA and the FBI. So they've been using intuitives and trained people in remote viewing for since before World War II.
Now, if they can just channel it away from conflict and war and put it towards beneficial things.
Yeah, well, they don't use it. No, they don't use it for the right reasons. Actually, the East Indians do, and the Buddhists do. They have as many as 100,000 children meditating on peace. They have proven that if you meditate in a city where you meditate, you lower the crime rate.
Wow.
It's been proven. And so there's a school in Oahu that changed their whole program with their students, and every morning they start off with an hour meditation. And the policy in that school is that you can express yourself at any time with your teachers, but you're not allowed to judge anyone or anything in doing it. You're allowed to ask questions from you and your lack of understanding or your feeling around it, but not in a way that would judge anybody in the class.
Wow.
So judgment and criticism of others is not allowed, and yet full expression is. And these kids are all going to college. They have 100% interest in the college, and their grades went up when they created this program. So
that sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, the Dalai Lama came and said, this is a really cutting-edge high school. And it's Buddhist, because Buddhism is not a religion.
Right.
It's really not. It's a way of life. It's not a religion.
A walk of life, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of a Buddhist way that they're doing this, and it's just really powerful for the kids. And it is teaching harmony,
You said that I've lived a life as a Buddhist, right, in the past?
Yes. Yes,
so
you have.
A lot of that's probably why a lot of that stuff tends to speak to me. Like, I'm not well versed in it, but every time I come across things that are, Buddhism and origin, Zen Buddhism, whatever, it seems to fit pretty well for me. So it just feels like, yeah, okay, that's, reasonable, whatever. And then here would be another example. That school sounds fantastic. I wish I would have went to a school like that. Growing up, but
exactly.
Great.
Well, Thich Nhat Hanh is one of my favorite little Buddhist monks. I don't know if you've ever read any of the work of Thich Nhat Hanh. He taught awareness in such a powerful way. I mean, he was once at Carnegie Hall, and as he went out on stage, everybody in the audience was just chatter, talking. And so he just sat down in his chair and closed his eyes and went into a state of meditation. And the longer he stayed in that state, pretty soon it got quieter and quieter and quieter. And when the last person stopped talking, then he opened his eyes and stood up and started his program.
That's great.
He never asked them to be quiet. He led them into quiet.
I've seen a talk that he did. I think I found one on YouTube one time, and I just super recently got one of his books, so I've been, looking forward to starting reading that. But
yeah, there's another woman named Pema Chodron that does some really good Buddhist work too. Pemadchhodran. She's got some powerful Buddhist work as well, and they're both wonderful.
I don't think I've heard of her, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, and so it's really, he teaches, what Thich Nhat Hanh teaches that I just love is awareness. He would do walks where you're blessing the earth with your feet. You could go to Plum Village, France, and walk with him before he had his stroke. And he would, he would teach you how to bless the earth with your feet as you walked. And he had these classes where you got to hold the peach and thank the person who grew the tree that grew the peach, and the earth that gave sustenance, and the rains that fed it, and the wonderful things that created this incredible peach. And then as you took a bite, you had to just savor the bite.
It'd probably be the best
in your
peach
mouth
you've
for as
ever
long
tasted,
as
I'm
possible.
sure.
Exactly. I mean, he would just take you through this awareness process that was so powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
he was
even
great.
getting some of that just from the one, lecture that I was watching. I don't even remember now what he was discussing, but it had a lot of the same things that you were just talking about, like just the depth to it of just, really, really getting down to like just, smile at your body and
Exactly.
Things you wouldn't normally think about doing or, think about in that way, but it was just like really eye-opening and
honoring and respect. Well, the Buddhists believe that it's not a good day or a bad day. They don't measure.
Right.
Nothing's good or bad. It just is. Today is a day. This is a moment. I'm aware in this moment now. And they don't measure good or bad. They teach an acceptance of the awareness of the moment and deep gratitude.